Miss Jessica Colvin and her escort Nathan Evans. Miss Abby Sabo and her escort Brady Baker. Miss Jessica Bree and her escort John Davison. Miss Kristen King and her escort Justin Altman. Miss Jessica Alexander and her escort Derek Lorenz. Miss Leslie Skelton and her escort Matt Aper. Miss Rachel Knight and her escort Scott Maestas. Miss Tara Buchholz and her escort Jake Fleshman. Miss Ashley Martin and her escort Andrew Bartman. Miss Angie Ridgway and her escort Kyle Sitton. Miss Ashley Kurtz and her escort Johnny Martyr. Miss Angie Couch and her escort Chris Davenport. Miss Jennifer White and her escort John Wilburn. Miss Angela Maestas and her escort Miles Craig. Miss Nikki Carter and her escort Mark Volker. Miss Amy Rettmeyer and her escort Ross Green. Miss Danielle Mosier and her escort, Sean Rollins. Prom Queen candidate, Summer Johnson and her escort, Frankie Barmas. Miss Jackie Bakken and her escort, Jeff Jones. Miss Brianna Sheldon and her escort, Josh Speckitor. Miss Megan Havlin and her escort, Aaron Matson. Miss Angela Spickard and her escort, Austin Sharon. Miss Jetty Kookaroo and Queen candidate for this evening's prom is Morgan Murphy, her escort. Did I say, I'm sorry, Morgan. King candidate Morgan Murphy, yes. Miss Amber Skelton and her escort, Brett Boward. Miss Meg Sullivan and her escort, Brett Dello. Miss Chelsea England and her escort, Jeremy Galagos. Miss Christy Stiles and her escort, Walter Craig. Miss Alex Davis and her escort, Justin Deadman. Miss Ashley Lucan and her escort, Chris Langelier. Miss Amy Holmes and her escort, Chris Phillips. Miss Alexis Winninger and her escort, Dustin Wells. Miss Lauren Eckhart and her escort, Kevin Behrens. Miss Wesley Schaub and her escort, Tony Newton. Miss Jamie Baker and her escort Dustin Ingram. Miss Carmen Altman and her escort Wendell Perham. Miss Stephanie Savory and her escort Stephen Workman. Miss Angela McAdams and her escort Nathan Snyder. Miss Missy Story and her escort Brad Slayton. Miss Stephanie Brady and her escort Brad Brandt. Miss Amy Case and her escort Robbie Given. Miss Audrey Ramlow and her escort Robert Morrow. Miss Candy Batten and her escort Max Letterly. Miss Megan Wolcott and her escort Jeremy Riggs. Miss Lisa Bailey and her escort Chad Tungate. Miss Mary Connell and her escort Joey Markham. Miss Kim Custer and her escort Corey Conrady. Miss Jenna Dumser and her escort Raphael Mancini. Thank you, Chris. Miss Betsy Sheely and her escort Chris Meyer. Miss Elizabeth Shuda and her escort Tommy John Gallagher. Miss Heather Huddleston and her escort Danielle Thomas. Miss Christy Kennett and her escort Joe Curo. Miss Allie Ray and her escort Justin Klott.